And for lesson 2, multiplying powers with the same base, this is mainly a lot of examples, so write down the examples with me, pause the video, work ahead, try to see if you can do it, then click play and see if you got your answers right. So we're talking about exponents, and the first thing I want you to remember is that an exponent is repeated multiplication. So 3 to the 4th is like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the 2nd is like 3 times 3, and according here, we're multiplying those together. So the total amount of repeated multiplication we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3 multiplied by itself 6 times. What do you notice about 3 to the 4th, 3 to the 2nd, and 3 to the 6th? Well, if we take the 4 and the 2, add them together, you'll get that 6. So when we are multiplying together numbers with exponents, but they have the same base, we will add together the exponents. So here are a couple examples. Again, pause it, work it out, see if you get it right. We're multiplying together two numbers that have different exponents, same base. So we're going to add together their exponents, and we'll get 12 to the 7th. Moving down, again, same thing. We have the same base. We have -2 plus 7 as our exponents. So we subtract and keep the sign of the bigger one, and we will have -5 to the 5. Now, sometimes you will have a coefficient. Remember, a coefficient is the number in front of the variable. When you do that, you simply multiply those together first. Remember, which property is it that says we can move around numbers when we're multiplying? The commutative property. So we'll have 4 times 9 times our z raised to the 5 plus -12th power. 4 times 9 is 36 times z. 5 plus -12, we'll subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number, and that will be a -7. So our final answer is 36z to the -7. Let's try this next one. First, we'll multiply together our coefficients, and then we take care of our variables. Now we have x, and it's raised to the 4th power, and the 9th power, and the 1st power. So it doesn't matter how many times this number is multiplied, as long as you add each of those variables. Remember, when it doesn't say, it's raised to the 1. Simplified, this is 15x to the 14th power. Exponents that have fractions are called rational exponents. Remember, 3 squared, that's like 3 times 3, that equals 9, okay? Now, fraction exponents will work backwards. If it says 9 to the 1/2, that means what two numbers multiply together to be 9? Well, or what number multiplied by itself twice equals 9? So the answer would be 3. Let's try here. 81 to the 1/4th power. What number multiplied by itself 4 times equals 81? This is going to require some guess and check. I could start and go 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16. That wouldn't work. Let's try 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times 3 again would be 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. So I know that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. That equals 81. So my answer here would be 3. 27 to the 1/3. So what number multiplied by itself 3 times equals 27. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3, 27. So again, our answer, because 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27, so our answer would be 3. 16 to the 1/4. What number multiplied by itself 4 times equals 16? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 16. That's 2 multiplied by itself 4 times, so our answer is 2. Sometimes we will have more than just a 1 in the numerator, which means that, so 3 over 2 is like having 1/2 3 times. 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. So what we have here is 64 to the 1/2 times 64 to the 1/2 times 64 to the 1/2. Because remember, if we wanted to combine these, we would add together these exponents, which would have given us 3/2. So what two numbers multiply together equals 64? Well, 8 times 8 is 64, so this is 8 times 8 times 8. Working that out, we would have 64 times 8, which would give us 512. Let's try this next one. Here we have 25 to the 1/2 times 25 to the 1/2 times 25 to the 1/2. Looking at that, we have what two numbers multiply together, or what number multiplied by itself twice equals 25. Well, 5 times 5 is 25. So we have 5 times 5 times 5, which would give us 25 times 5. We'd end up with 125 as our answer. Let's try this one down here. We have 27 and 2/3, so that's 27 and 1/3 times 27 and 1/3. What number multiplied by itself 3 times equals 27? Well, that would be 3. So we have 3 times 3, which is 9. And finally, we're going to have simplify the expression when we have some variables thrown in. Now, rules are still going to be the same. When we have coefficients, we pull them out and multiply. When we have the A's, we'll add their exponents. When we have the B's, we'll add their exponents. Remember, what property tells us that we can move around these numbers and multiply them, and it will still be the same? Anyone? Come on, guys. Raise your hand. Okay, you. Yes, the commutative property. So first thing, I'm going to multiply together my coefficients, or the numbers in front of the variables. Then I'm going to add together the exponents of my variable A, or my base A. Then I'll add together the exponents of my base B. We're going to have to do some work to make it perfectly simplified. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Then we have A, 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3. That gives us 3 over 3. And then in order for us to add 1 over 4 and 1 over 2, we have to give them common denominators. So I'll multiply my 1/2 by 2 over 2, which gives me 2/4. So now I have B, wrong color of blue. Good job, Ms. Dees. Let's find the right blue. We have B to the 1/4 plus 2/4. Working that out again, 30. 3 over 3, what does that give us? That gives us 1. 30 times A to the 1 times B to the 3/4. Now we're still not totally simplified because remember, a to the 1 is just the same thing as saying a. So our final answer is 30a b to the 3/4. I hope this video was helpful. Our joke today: what did the digital clock say to the grandfather clock? Look, Pa, no hands!